Let me ask you, have you ever been frustrated when your prospects don't call you back or return your emails when you're trying to follow up with them? You're left wondering if they're in fact still interested or if you're wasting your time. Well, first things first, let's never give up on a prospect, meaning someone that you have previously identified as being an able buyer. Listen, there are all kinds of reasons why prospects are slow to respond, but let it not be because you fail to follow up with them. Don't ever give up unless you've been clearly told that they are no longer in the market for your product or your services. In my experience over the past 25 years as a sales performance coach, I would attribute what I'm going to share with you today as being one of the single biggest turnaround practices in our clients' sales performance. More sales can be recovered and closed if you will just do the following, and yet so few people actually do it. So when you have a prospective buyer in front of you, initially you're trying to determine if this is an able, willing, and ready buyer, aren't you? What you're essentially doing is trying to determine if this buyer will make a commitment today, or if they are not, is there a reason to follow up? Well, here's the tip that will earn you a lot of extra income. When you have a qualified prospect in front of you, and you have determined that they can and most probably will buy, never let them leave without having scheduled the next activity or the next appointment. And by next activity and next appointment, I mean actually discuss what should happen next and schedule a specific time when this should take place. So if the next appropriate event is another meeting, schedule that meeting while they are in front of you and be specific as to the date and to the time. If you want to increase your effectiveness even more, discuss what you're going to accomplish for them between now and the next meeting. You might give them a task as well. Ask them to bring something back to the meeting for you. Ask them to think about something, write some ideas, some thoughts down, and bring those to the next meeting. Now, if the next appropriate step is an action such as a letter, an email, or perhaps a phone call, again, be specific about when they can expect that next activity to happen. The more specific about the time and the content of your next meeting or activity you are, the more meaningful it is to your prospect. Now, why is this so important? Well, it's important because you want to have some level of control over what that prospect is thinking as they leave. Keep in mind that they were looking for you and your guidance. They want to know that they have found a person that is committed to helping them find the product or services that they are looking for. And if that is in fact the case, and you want them to believe that, it is also then your responsibility to demonstrate that. And there is no better way to demonstrate your commitment than actually planning and scheduling the next steps or activities. Failing to do this every time when you are with a potential buyer will have them leaving your presence wondering what their next step may be and where else they have to go to get the assistance that they still need. So make a commitment to never again let a prospective buyer that you believe can buy leave your presence without the next step being clearly defined, discussed, and scheduled. Make a little sign, stick it in your office somewhere, and remind yourself to do this. If you will consciously do this, I guarantee that you will be able to attribute at least one extra sale in the next 30 days because you started to do this consistently. Implement this practice immediately and commit to doing this for the next 4 weeks at the very least. Make it a habit. I promise you, you'll be glad that you did.